Hi guys, I'm back up here with another daily motivational message for the collective. Remember, all messages are not for all, they're for some. Take what you need to leave the rest. As well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me, we can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as going to drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys and start the discussion. As well as just going to share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? So that's about it, right? This is a channel message, no cards. I'm not going to be on screen. I'm just going to talk to y'all, right? Okay? So I have a channel message that came up from a short. I posted it somewhere on my social media, somewhere. So if you guys want to check that short out, go on and check it out, right? It talks about, I guess, this whole entire reading is about when you cry out to God and it seems like God doesn't hear you, or when it seems like God is not listening, or God's being inconsiderate, or God's being insensitive. God is, where's God when you need him, right? This is that type of energy, especially when you're going through struggles and tribulations and trials and things of that nature, right? Within the short, it talks about how God, there's one particular phrase that this young lady said. Is her name Deanna? I think her name is. I'm not sure, guys. I might have butchered it. Sorry. I send love and light to you, you lovely soul. Sorry. I just kind of quickly seen it and then it inspired me. Anyways, hopefully that's her name. I don't know if that's her Instagram user, but she said something about that. Anywho, it's not about that. Anyways, right, it talks about, she said one particular phrase. I'm going to paraphrase because I don't necessarily remember what she says, but I understand what she was talking about, right? She was talking about how it seems like one particular line was, God is not going to cater or cuddle to your insecurities, right? God is not going to cuddle to your insecurities. Okay, so with that particular line, that's inspired this reading, right? And she's so right? And I'm going to elaborate on that message here. God is not going to cuddle your insecurities, right? God shows us how to rise above certain things, right? Especially when it comes to feeling like I'm not where I need to be at, or what I'm experiencing, my physical reality is not where I want it to be, right? This is that type of energy. God is not going to baby you. This is kind of like for those that are in the twin flame journey, right? You want to think of God, which your divine masculine is a version of that. Your divine masculine shows you, quote unquote, in quotation marks, what God is, what God looks like, right, in a spiritual form, right? This is that type of energy. You have to think of God as like your divine masculine, dead ass, right? Take what your masculine does, or all that shit out of the window, all the karmic shit your masculine does. It doesn't even fucking matter, right? It's about the concept of the purpose of why the divine masculine is in your life, right? So if we want to use that concept, if we want to use that ideology, think of God in the same way. When you're in a relationship with God, God is not going to cuddle your insecurities. God is not going to lick your wounds. God is going to show you how to lift yourself out of your situation. God is going to show you through hard work, through self-discipline, through tough love, right? To show you who you are. It's coming from a space of love, right? This is that type of energy. There's an energy here where within the collective, especially within the spiritual community, doesn't matter if you're spiritual or religious, doesn't matter. It's everywhere. When it comes to the surface of God, God is your resting place, yes, but God is going to also show you and have you experience some hard lessons, and sometimes you may not hear God, right? Sometimes God may not voice its opinion, right? This is that type of energy because God is wanting to show you that you can pull yourself out, right? I've given you all the tools that you need to pull yourself out. Now it's time to stop whining and getting to work, right? This is that type of energy. God will give you a God smack. God will give you tough love. God will do that out of the name of love, right? This is that type of energy. God will wear the black hat in the name of love so you can get it, right? This is that type of energy. God is not going to cuddle your insecurities. God is not going to justify your insecurities. God is not going to justify your shortcomings. God is going to just amplify those areas until you do something about it, right? This is that type of energy, and that is real love. And sometimes being in a relationship with God in the way that you have it, right, it can be difficult because you have to deal with some difficult situations. Sometimes you have to deal with yourself. Sometimes you have to deal with your situation, right? So this is that type of energy in these moments of time, understanding the love that God is providing you, right? When God is providing you love, it may come in the form of tough love. It may come in the form of feeling cold. It might come in the form of you're very inconsiderate. It may come in the form of you're insensitive, right? But it's not really that. God is really trying to show you who you are. God is not going to lick your wounds, help you lick your wounds. God is not going to cuddle, like she said on the short, cuddle your insecurities. God is not going to do it. God is here to help you heal those. And if that means going through the fire, you're going to have to go through the fire. If that means crying it out, you're going to have to cry it out. If that means being angry and screaming on the top of your lungs, you're going to have to do it. If that means that you're in an energy of feeling even quote unquote despair for a temporary second, then you need to go through it, right? This is that type of energy. The only way you can overcome what is in your life and the obstacles in your life that's standing in your way is going through those obstacles. It's going towards those obstacles to defeat those obstacles. God is not going to help you run away from your problems. God is not going to help you run away from your obstacles. God is not going to help you run away from the darkness, the midnight hour, the furnace moment, the silence. God is not going to help you do that. God is going to encourage you and nudge you to keep moving forward into the midnight hour, into the darkness, into the midst, into the desert, into the furnace, so you can deal with yourself and your situation, so you can see how powerful you are, so you can see that you sitting within this space right here, you can pull yourself out of this space right here. You are not stuck here unless you believe that you were stuck here. And most of the trials and the tribulations and the things we go through is because God is trying to show you who you are. You can't see who you are when you're in this space of running away from yourself. When you're in a space of crying out to God about your shortcomings, about your insecurities, and thinking God's gonna, and God answering every call and every call from you. Right? This is that type of energy you have to understand, man. When you don't hear God and you constantly are going through these triggers, God is trying to show you, I am not going to cuddle your insecurities. I am not going to help you lick your wounds. I'm going to show you, and I've shown you time and time again, to uplift yourself from how you feel, uplift yourself from your physical reality, get to my perspective, see things from a bird's eye view, see things from the glass half full, and you keep falling victim to the glass half empty. God is not going to cater to that. God understands what you need. God knows the solution. God knows where you're going, right? This is that type of energy. It's about you getting an understanding of that. And sometimes getting an understanding of that requires you just going with the flow and just riding with God. Sometimes you understand as you go. You'll grow faith as you go. You will learn who God is as you go. This relationship is an as you go type of thing, right? You don't automatically gain faith. You don't automatically gain courage. You don't automatically gain all of these beautiful things. Trust, releasing, surrendering. You don't gain these as soon as you say, all right, God, I'm ready to know you. No, this is an as you go situation. You'll learn how to trust God. You'll learn how to release. You'll learn how to surrender. You'll learn how to sit down and let God work. You'll learn how to listen. You'll learn how to experience. You'll learn how to be present. You'll learn how to be patient as you go. We are breaking habits. We are breaking insecurities. We are breaking generational curses. We are breaking things. So when it comes to breaking things, it's going to take time to break those things, right? So before you give up, before you get in despair, before you experience, oh no, this is awful, before you sink in your alone space, before you sink in the darkness, before you start overthinking, think about it. God needs you to rage from your situation. And when God doesn't hear you, when you are crying out to him or her, right? It's because God is not going to cater to your insecurities. God is not going to cater to your insecurities. And this is that type of energy. It may seem that God ain't listening. It may seem that God don't understand. It may seem that God is inconsiderate. It may seem that God ain't where God at. You say there's a God out here. Where God at? It may seem like that, but if you keep coming to God with the same insecurities, with the same wounds and the same things that God already knows that's within you, and God already knows that you got the ability to raise above, because God already showed you step above your situation, you're going to continue to go through those cycles. You're going to continue to experience those cycles. And I'm learning this as well, y'all. Like, I am learning this with y'all. This is for us all, right? So to wrap this message up, God is not, that young lady is right. God is not going to cater to your insecurities. God is not going to lick your wounds. God already shown you how to rise above your situation. Now it's up to you to rise above your situation, right? Right. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. Remember, all messages are not for all. They're for some. Take what you need and leave the rest. As well as we got that slot open for personal readings. If you feel guided or interested in purchasing one of those, you know what to do. DM me. We can get you set up. Come fuck with your girl, okay? As well as drop a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys and start the discussion. As well as it's going to share these vids, man. Let's get this divine knowledge out here for the collective so we all can get on one accord, okay? Before we close out here, remember, God is not going to cater to your insecurities. So that being said, when you catch yourself, because you know, players fuck up, we get in those modes. And when you get into those modes, remember that God, you may not hear God because God is not going to cater to that. God already showed you how to get through that. God already knows your solution for your life. So this is that type of energy. When you get into that mode, when you get into that space, just smile and say, aye, Captain, I understand. I comprehend. I'm doing that again, am I? Right? This is that type of energy. Most times when it comes to our path, it has to do with us really coming into a space of understanding. And when we come into a space of understanding, and when we come into a space of awareness, we do better. We know better, right? This is that type of energy. Sometimes we move out of a space of not knowing better and not knowing what's going on and being clueless, ignorant to our situation, right? This is that type of energy. God is letting us all know in these moments in time, you no longer have to be ignorant to your situation. You understand that you're experiencing a low point of your life, especially when it comes to your insecurities, whatever that makes you insecure. Everything doesn't have to do with love. Everything doesn't have to do with finances. Sometimes it has to do with your relationship with God. Sometimes it has to do with you, right? This is that type of energy. Whatever is making you feel small, whatever is your shortcoming, whatever is your thorn in your thigh, right? This is that type of energy in these moments in time. God is trying to show you to raise above your situation instead of falling into pieces. Falling into pieces. Not everybody gets the opportunity to experience a relationship with God. And you were blessed. You were honored. You were touched and privileged to experience that relationship with God. Because many are called, but few are chosen, right? I repeat, many are called, but few are chosen. And when you are chosen and you decide to walk on that path, it is hard. It is hard being a divine. You're constantly fighting battles. You're constantly trying to stay this narrow path. But this is that type of energy. You have to remember God is walking with you. God is showing you that you know what you're doing. As long as you are walking with me, you know where you're going. You could trust me where you're going, right? This is that type of energy. God is letting you know, as long as you continue to hold my hand, even when you do not know where you're going and what you're experiencing, or when you don't even know, you're going within the unknown and you're just learning how to trust. You don't even know what's going on and you trust in God, just a mustard seed. God is going to deliver you. That's it. That's all. All right, have a good night. Stay up and bye-bye.